Hey YouTubers, back again today. Today I'm going to talk about a little pool care. I'm not a chemist or anything like that. Anything that you guys bump into or whatever, I will not be responsible for any mishaps or anything like that. I'm just doing this video. I'm not a professional by any means. I'm just doing a video to, try to help anyone that's having, problems with their pool far as algae or anything like that. As you can see now, my water is crystal clear. The green off over there, that's the leaves from the banana trees. But, recently I wasn't home for a few weeks, and the pool went untreated. And I tell you what, when I got back, this pool was completely green. I mean, algae everywhere. All on the sidewalls, all in the water. I mean, everywhere. First thing you want to do if that happens, check your water, make sure your pH level is right, your alkalinity level is right. You could just get the little cheap test strips from your local pool store, or even Walmart has them when it's in season. But check your pH level, check your alkalinity level, your total chlorine level, your cyanuric acid level. The cyanuric acid or cyanuric acid is also known as stabilizer. That's what lets your chlorine stay in the pool, because your chlorine level goes down from natural sunlight, and the sunlight basically sucks your chlorine out of your pool. What the cyanuric acid does / stabilizer, that protects your pool. It's like it forms a blanket over the chlorine particles to stop the chlorine particles from dissipating too quickly or going away too quickly. So make sure all those levels are good. The way I finally got rid of my algae, I have a vacuum in here. Believe it's the Zodiac 1500 is the model number, but it's an auto vac, and that's what this white line is. And that thing, you could kind of see it in the water. It just goes around, and sucks the bottom of the pool, vacuums it. But what it does is it comes into the pump and it puts it right back into my return. Right back into my return is what it does. It comes right back into the pool. It does a pretty good job, on big stuff. But when you have something, as fine as algae, pretty much that Zodiac, it'll just suck it up, or any kind of automatic vacuum for that purpose. It'll suck it up and put it right back in your pool. So what I want to say is this: if you have a big algae outbreak in your pool, check all those levels. Make sure that the levels are all safe. And if they are safe, what you want to do is go ahead and, add, maybe a case or two of shock. Because what you want to do, you want to raise that chlorine level up, pretty darn high. I mean, like double or, maybe even triple what it should be. You want to raise that chlorine level up, pretty darn high. Don't swim during that time. Who wants to swim in green water? And plus, the water may not be safe to swim in because the chlorine levels are so high, because you're trying to kill the algae. This particular pool, I have 3 floating chlorinators in here. I have that one, and there's 2 more out there, probably behind that float over there. But I have 3 chlorinators in here. Each one of them holds about 3 to 6 tablets each. So I filled those up, hit it with 2 cases of shock. you know, let that run. I may have even put a couple chlorine tabs right there into the skimmer. I got some leaves in there, but I even put a couple chlorine tablets in there, you know, and I stopped running the vacuum. I removed the vacuum. That's very important, because what you want to do, you want to run those chlorine levels high. What that's going to do, that's going to start to clear your water up. And what you're going to be left with is green sidewalls, and the bottom of your pool is going to be green, but the water will be clear. What the high chlorine levels are going to do, it's going to drop all of those algae particles to the bottom of your pool, and they're going to be caked on the sidewall. But if you look at the water, you know, you'll see your water get clear in about a week. You know, put that chlorine in there, run it, you know, keep checking it. And the best time to chlorinate your pool is at night. Even though you have the cyanuric acid / stabilizer that I talked about earlier in there, even though you have that in there, the sunlight still, it just works against your chlorine totally. So to get the best effect, to run it, you know, at its best effect and get a good 8 to 10 hours, maybe even 12 hours of pure good chlorination in there, your best bet is to do all of your chlorinating when the sun goes down. What I mean by chlorinating, adding your chlorine or your shock or anything of that matter, do it in the evening time when the sun is going down. And that way it'll run, you know, all night at its, you know, full potential until it slowly dissipates. You know, run that and put that in there. Then after you hit it real hard that first time with that chlorinator, you want to go to putting one bottle, depending on your pool size. This is a 27 foot across by 52-inch deep round. You want to put, you know, I put a gallon of shock in here every evening until my water got clear. I put a whole gallon in every evening. I would come out here, I would backwash my pump, you know, to clean that out. If you know about sand filters, I would backwash it, put a gallon, and I done that every night. Backwash, put a gallon of shock. Backwash, gallon of shock. I done that every night, and I would put the shock in back over there. I put it in far away from the pump as I could, so that it could work its way across the pool over to the pump, so it would, you know, be more effective killing the algae. And you know, I done that for about a week, and finally I seen all the algae just on the bottom of the pool only and on the side walls only. So what I did, I checked my chlorine levels. I brought them back down stable enough to swim in. And what I did is I got my manual vacuum, not this automatic vacuum. I got my manual. I got it out of the shed over there, and I went ahead and got in the pool after the chlorine levels were stable. I stopped adding my shock to bring it down stable, because I knew I was going to have to get in. Well, I got in with my manual. Well, first I stood up on the deck and vacuumed with my manual vacuum as much as I could see. Then finally I had to get in there, and you know, I had to vacuum the sidewalls. When I done all of that vacuuming, I put my pump on bypass to waste, so that the water would not circulate that green algae that I was sucking up off of the floor and the walls. I didn't want it to suck into here, go into my pump, then back into my pool. So if you're familiar with sand filters, I put this lever, I put it on bypass to waste, and it just came out of this valve here and went straight out to waste. That algae that was on the bottom and side walls never touched my pump. So I got in there, you know, and I you know, went ahead and you know, bypassed it to waste, and I got in and I manually vacuumed every thing out. And after I done that, you know, it was pretty clean. You know, it was pretty clean after that, and I didn't have any problems. I still, you know, a couple days, I still, just to make sure all the algae was gone and that it was dead, I still, you know, put in a gallon of shock and backwash every night. Backwash, you know, a gallon of shock every night, you know, would do that. You know, and now my pool it's back perfect. After you hit it with that, it's a slow process. After you hit it with that shock, after you hit it, you know, with that shock, that first initial shocking and chlorinating, your water may become cloudy. If your water gets cloudy, don't be discouraged. I mean, that's a good thing. If your water is just cloudy, you know, you are killing the algae, because the chlorine and the shock is chlorine. It's just a temporary chlorine. Like, it temporarily raises your levels high for the most part, you know, and then it dissipates very quickly, where chlorine tablets and all that, they're more so slow release. You know, and they last a little longer in the pool. But like I was saying, you know, if your pool is cloudy, that is a good sign, because that shows that the chlorine that you're putting in is killing the algae. It'll, you know, it's like putting bleach on a shirt or something like that. You know, it's gonna change colors, and you know, it's gonna change the color. So if your water gets cloudy when you hit it that first initial time, that's a good, you know, that's a good sign that you are killing the algae particulates, because basically what it's doing is, the green algae is thick. It's basically bleaching the algae and making it like a clear, slimy substance, and that in turn makes your water cloudy. So just run the heck out of that pump, you know, and just keep on shocking it, and keep on and chlorinating until you can see the bottom of your swimming pool and the sidewalls. Then you could get in and you know, vacuum that all up. With this one, not gonna lie, I probably went through maybe because I had a bad algae outbreak, and this is a pretty good pool. I probably went through, you know, maybe 5 cases of shock. You know, and that, you know, at $10 a piece, you know, that's $50. But, you know, I probably went through 5 cases. There's 4 gallons in each case. In each case of shock, there's 4 gallons in there, and I probably honestly went through 5 of those. But I mean, I don't know about you, but I would rather pay $50 for 5 cases of shock instead of draining this pool down, refilling it, you know, and all that. That could be a lot more expensive than, you know, $50-$60 to get my pool clear. So I'm very happy with the outcome, the process, and I'm very happy with spending that $60. You know, I wish my pool hadn't have got that far gone, but you know, if I could get it cleared up for, you know, for a little bit of money, you know, I definitely take that any day instead of draining this sucker down and filling it back up. You know, and you know, just, you know, follow that process. And if this video helps you in any type of way, you know, definitely send a like and subscribe. Or if you have any questions about your pool care, let me know. This is just a regular old chlorine pool. I don't know anything about saltwater pools and all that, so I wouldn't be able to help you out with any of that. But you know, I just wanted to do a video on that. If you ever get a bad algae outbreak, you know how I had. Thank you, and have a good day, YouTubers.